After a few days and you've acclimatised, I think you do feel the benefits at that point. But overall, I think the travelling and the going there for the preparation for a Premier League season, it isn't a very positive thing for the squad.
What do you mean by different air?
It's just the humidity. You just feel like when you're running and you're working that hard at home or at your training base, you're just used to the air temperature and the lack of humidity. When you're playing in somewhere like Beijing, it's very difficult to get used to that.
Contact. Trying to find William. Interception is by Monreal. This is Bramall. What a story he's had over the last 6 months. Moved to Arsenal in January from Hensford Town. And that was days after being made redundant from his job at a Bentley factory.
It's a great story. I mean, stories that you don't hear very often in the modern game. And something I think Arsene Wenger is very open to. If you look over the years, he's been open to that type of thing.
Given away by Apilicueta. This is Iwobi. Özil with Lacazette. And also Aaron Ramsey arriving late and prodding it narrowly wide.
Fabulous run from Ramsey from deep. It's great midfield play. The turnover of the ball and you see you're on the attack. He makes a lovely run and no one better than Özil to find him with these type of passes. Great pass in between the two defenders and any kind of slight touch glancing the ball could have put it into the far corner.
Scored in the FA Cup final, didn't he, again? Seems to be his stage.
Similar goal from arriving from deep as well. Ball went wide and he got in the box, and so important for an attacking midfielder to time that run well.
He was another one who met a super fan in Australia who had a tattoo of Ramsey's face on his forearm.
Crikey.
Anyone ever have a tattoo of your face?
Hopefully not.
Arsenal have been on the most arduous pre-season tour. They're flying 21,000 miles or more over the course of a 2-week period. They've been to Sydney, they've been to Shanghai, now Beijing. They go back for the Emirates Cup next week. Chelsea will be going off to Singapore. They will face Inter Milan and Bayern Munich. Moses chasing Bramall. Managed to get himself out of a sticky situation there. And we had another fairy tale story this week as well, didn't we, with Andrew Robertson going to Liverpool. A guy that 4 years ago was playing part-time football in Scotland and working in a supermarket. Now he's the left back of a team that will be playing in the Champions League next season. Here come Chelsea, and it came a very, very long way there, David Ospina. And the referee has given a free kick against Pedro.
Be interesting to see the replay on what the offence was here from Pedro. I mean, it's a decision from Ospina. I even think when he comes out, he nearly handles just on the goal line, but I can't see where the foul's coming from there, to be honest.
Well, if we had an 18-yard camera replay of that, I think it might show that when he touched the ball, he was outside the box.
Just outside, it looks to me, when he made contact with the ball with his hand. But, you know, Pedro's got every right to go and challenge for that ball.
He's the one who's come off worse in the situation, Pedro.
Yes, it's a nasty collision. It's never nice when you're going through and his eyes are on the ball. He's totally focused on wanting to take that touch, and a goalkeeper comes out and clatters you like that. It takes you by surprise and leaves you vulnerable. So I'm not surprised he's rolling around in a little bit of pain right now.
Antonio Conte is a little bit concerned. It's Carlo Cudicini, who is on the coaching staff at Chelsea, former Chelsea goalkeeper. There's a pause in play in Beijing, so we'll tell you about some more live football that we've got coming up for you in the next few days. In fact, on Thursday night, we've got live action from Goodison Park, ITV4. And we start at 7:30. Wayne Rooney's second competitive debut as an Everton player. They take on Rosenberg in the Europa League qualifiers. Kick-off is 8:05. We're on air at 7:30. Looking forward to a trip to Goodison Park, where there's been some quite intense recruitment.
Yeah, they've had a very active summer and ongoing transfer scenarios at the moment, I suppose, which makes it an interesting place to be.
It does look as if the bridge of the nose of Pedro had a small cut on it. Antonio Conte wants to know whether he has to make a change or not.
That was a substantial collision. When you see the slow motion, that was unpleasant. I think Ospina's contacted him twice, once with his forearm as he's come out to punch the ball, and then as his body's hit into him. And Pedro's head not only contacted Ospina, but I think he hit the floor as well. So, you know, it's going to shake him up a little bit.
Chelsea yet to decide whether they're going to make a change. Ramsey. Interesting tactic from N'Golo Conte. Sending it long. There wasn't anyone to aim at for Chelsea. This is Özil being chased by Alonso. Gary Cahill was across, and that wasn't the best appearances from David Luiz.
No, he'll probably argue that he's dealt with it, which he has, but it seemed quite a casual clearance at the time. Maybe could have hooked it out for a throw-in, but instead it looks like it's gone out for a corner.
Change for Chelsea, and Pedro is not going to be able to continue, so Jeremy Boga is about to come on, the Ivory Coast international. Started 14 times for Granada in the Liga last season, racked up nearly 1,500 minutes of first-team football in Spain. He's only 20 years of age. He did, however, play under 4 different managers, including Tony Adams. And it's a like-for-like replacement for Chelsea. He's speedy, tricky. He's got a really good touch. He likes to run with the ball. Very creative player.
That's a good opportunity for him. Game matches like this are designed really well for players on the fringes of teams and young players. So, really good opportunity for him to show what he can do.
Involved in the Chelsea all-conquering youth team, but never played a competitive match for Chelsea. So Chelsea making a change inside the first half an hour. Iwobi. Özil. Xhaka trying to shift it on. Monreal picks it up. Bramall. This is Oxlade-Chamberlain. Following him away from the penalty area and then getting the tackle in.
I can really hear Antonio Conte encouraging his players, getting them out, you know, get pressure on the ball. It's something that he really requires his teams to do. And even though it's a pre-season friendly. He wants Chelsea to get into that zone and into that mindset of pressing the ball in midfield and putting pressure on the opposition.
Another drinks break. And Antonio Conte coming in last season, he had a fantastic first campaign, didn't he? He led Chelsea to the Premier League title at the first attempt, guiding them to what was a record 30 wins in a single season, as well as a club record 13 consecutive league victories. They also reached the FA Cup final when they lost to Arsenal. Don't get much better than that, do they, as far as debut season's concerned?
It doesn't get any better than that, and coming into the club, there was no European distraction, which personally I feel helped him. I think it gave him time with the players on the training pitch, as opposed to flying around Europe for matches midweek. He was able to play a very similar starting 11 every week. Everyone knew their job, and you know, the big credit that he's taken is the formation. I think has been a revelation for Chelsea with the domestic Premier League season, and an outstanding first season in the Premier League for a manager.
He's just whispering into the ear of Jeremy Boga there, just giving him some tactical instructions. You mentioned about the system. One of the things about him that sets him apart from other coaches is that he's not like wedded to one style, one formation. He likes three at the back, but he won't always play that way. Flexibility is important at the top of the game. Arsenal had an upturn themselves in results once they changed 2-3 at the back at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely, and you know, he will change different formations if the personnel suit that, and I think that's an important thing for a manager. I see Arsene Wenger having done the same with Per Mertesacker, we touched on earlier. He's a player that will play well and will be a real asset to the defence in a 3. I think in a 2 it's a different situation for him.
Interesting season for Per Mertesacker. It will be his last. He pulled out of the warm-up against Bayern because of sickness. That's the man who will usually play in the back 3 or 4 for Arsenal, Laurent Koscielny. But Mertesacker is going to become the head of the Arsenal Academy from the beginning of the season. And you were telling me earlier he's going to start that role whilst still playing the final year of his playing contract.
That's what I'm aware of, obviously in a lighter capacity than if he weren't playing, but I believe that's the case. But even not, it's a really interesting appointment from Arsenal, and that they've obviously, you know, got a lot of faith in his idea, and going into player development at that stage in such a crucial area of the club. You know, it's a big responsibility for him.
Here he is on the ball. Representing an offside position, Thibaut Courtois comes a long way to deal with it and does so successfully. Might come here for Willian. Does come for Willian. Still going. It's Willian. It's a save by David Ospina. Victor Moses. And another reaction save by the Colombian goalkeeper to keep Chelsea out. They've looked the most likely.
Another poor kind of error from Arsenal with the Maitland Miles with a header into midfield and really pounced upon by Moses.
Intelligent corner, and Michy Batshuayi tucks it home. Here's the offside flag up. He's frustrated about that. The Chinese officials were very quick to rule that out. He thought he'd stolen a march.
Arsenal will be very relieved. They get out, but they're not. There's not enough pressure on the ball as it comes out. They're too far off. It looks onside to me. Looks onside. They've got away with that. But as the corner comes back out, Arsenal just aren't ready, and there's not enough pressure on the man receiving the ball.
Told you we need VAR.
Please no.
Yeah. Both you and I were working on the Confederations Cup, where that was a major talking point over the course of the 2.5 weeks.
It was very difficult to understand how you could make it so difficult to get those decisions right. Even with video technology, it was a masterclass.
That one would have been simple.
Yeah.
Chelsea might feel as if they should have been allowed that goal. And at 10 minutes before half-time, they should be in front. They've certainly had the best of the chances in the opening 35 minutes. Williams had a couple, Batshuayi from distance. To Moses too.
It's worth all of them have come from poor defensive errors, in my opinion. You know, loose passes or trying to play a ball down when it's not on, and giving Chelsea some good opportunities to score.
The accusation has been for a long time that Arsenal don't do enough work defensively. Is that your understanding?
I don't know if it's enough work defensively. It's just, in these occasions especially, it's just the decision making.
Chance for Boga here. He's in behind Maitland-Niles. He's then been held up. He's still got hold of it. Sensible play to work it out to Victor Moses, who's got a chance to cross again. And Mertesacker, well, that could have gone anywhere. Where it did go was over the top of Ospina's crossbar, and Arsenal are relieved again.
You can see Mertesacker there saying to his left wing back, or Monreal maybe, just show him out, just get him out of the pitch, don't let him come inside and cross like that. It's too easy for him to get round and stick a dangerous ball in the box right along the 6-yard line. It's a terrible place to be as a centre-back going towards your own goal.
Willian trotting out to take the corner. The Chelsea captain is Gary Cahill now after the departure of John Terry. Mertesacker has the responsibility of watching him. He pops up with more than a goal or two. It's a decent delivery, and he's found Cahill. Arsenal blocked it, but they allowed him far too much room.
Yes, it's a feature of Gary Cahill on corners. He tends to kind of drop off and gets quite a lot of either second ball or volley type opportunities to score. He's been reacting to the news that Chelsea have signed Alvaro Morata in the last 24 hours. He's very excited about playing alongside him. He will join up with the squad tomorrow in Singapore, completing his medical in London. Boga, good feet. On to Batshuayi, dragged the shot a little. Maybe just rush the opportunity. Did score the goal that won Chelsea the title away at West Bromwich Albion. Decided to rebuff Fenerbahce in the week. Just snatched at it, I would say it would be a good description of what he's doing now. I just feel more composure, take your touch, get it out your feet, clean strike. He was under pressure a little bit from Xhaka, came across, but just snatched at the opportunity and needed a better contact with the ball. The statistics suggest he will score goals. Did when he was at Marseille. The limited appearances he had for Chelsea, he scored goals too. I think, as you said, with the number of games that Chelsea have to play this season, there will be opportunities for him. Contact. Batshuayi trying to wriggle away from Mertesacker. In any position, to not play regularly is very difficult to get your rhythm and to get a run of form. But for a goal scorer, when you're so heavily reliant on the statistics of goals being in your game, it's a near on impossible task. So, you know, more matches for him is only going to bring more opportunities to score, which with his quality, I'm sure he'll take. And that was superb from Batshuayi. He's found Willian. Boga is joining the attack. Moses is there too. Willian goes for goal himself, and this time Chelsea do take the lead. Really good finish from Willian. They have been threatening to take charge of this fixture, and just before half-time, that's what they've done. Fully deserved, in my opinion. The opportunities that Arsenal are giving Chelsea and that Chelsea are creating themselves, there's far too many that only eventually they're going to score a goal, and you know, superbly taken from Willian. 5 minutes before half-time, and Willian, who scored a hat-trick against Fulham last weekend, is on the score sheet once more. Monreal has to keep him going on the outside. As a defender, the only place I don't want him coming is inside. I will gladly let him go on the outside of me there and show him to the goal line. He allows him that space inside. Someone like Willian only needs half an opportunity or half a yard to bend the ball in the far post. It's a fantastic finish, but Monreal has to keep him outside of the pitch. And the work of Batshuayi just
on the edge of the centre circle should not be underestimated.
No, lovely play, turned with the ball brilliantly and threaded a nice through ball through, which created the opportunity.
And Chelsea lead by 1-0 just before the break. Conte trying to meet that, and does meet that ahead of Bramall. Just got a little bit befuddled. Here is Batshuayi, some space for him too. And Chelsea score a double in quick succession. First Willian and then Batshuayi. The champions with a show of strength just before half-time.
Chelsea again handed the ball from Bramall, I think it was, and developed it themselves, but the initial turnover of the ball was a real sloppy touch or sloppy play from Bramall. Kante doesn't need another opportunity to dispossess somebody, and you know, it's a very composed finish. Mertesack's body weight's going the wrong way, cuts inside. Very similar finish to Willian's, just with his left foot.
He's had a couple of opportunities from range and not got them quite right. That was inch perfect for Michy Batshuayi. And Chelsea, who started the first half stronger than Arsenal, have finished it in that vein too. That's another bit of sloppy defending. And here's Fabregas, and Batshuayi is lurking, and Batshuayi is denied by Xhaka. Fabregas, Boga. It's quick and slick from Chelsea. And it's a bit sloppy from Arsenal.
Arsenal really need to get a hold of themselves at the moment. They are all over the place. They've got to get set, they've got to get their shape, they've got to have some communication and some structure to what they're doing. At the moment, they're just reacting on balls and they're making sloppy mistakes. They've really got to get it together.
Bramall driving forward, chance to cross and heading towards Lacazette, but well defended by Gary Cahill.
Really good defending from Gary Cahill there. You know, saw the danger, saw Lacazette's run, came across, got goal side and dealt with the ball.
We've seen that pose from Arsene Wenger before, haven't we? It's not significant, it is only a pre-season friendly and these things shouldn't matter, but whenever these two play, you get the feeling that there's that extra little bit of needle. Bramall. Just down by Marcus Alonso.